Tucked between some of Asia's largest countries, this country often escapes the spotlight. But inside its borders, it lies a complex mix of cultures, languages, and deep-rooted traditions. From highland temples to delta plains, the landscape shifts as quickly as its history. A place still writing its present, shaped by a long and layered past. This is Myanmar. With over 130 ethnic groups, Myanmar holds one of the most diverse populations in the region. Its cities echo with colonial architecture, while rural areas preserve ways of life unchanged for generations. The economy is growing slowly, shaped by internal dynamics and global uncertainty. Religion plays a visible role, with Buddhist monastic life present in both daily routine and national identity. Despite challenges, Myanmar continues to move quietly, unevenly, and on its own terms. Let's start our journey to Myanmar with a small quiz. Unscramble these letters. Hint: it's a freshwater lake known for stilted villages and fishermen who row with their legs. That's where we begin, in a place that reflects both stillness and motion. Rising from the arid plains of central Myanmar, Bagan is a monumental testament to Southeast Asia's golden age of Buddhist architecture. Established in the mid-9th century by the Burmans, Bagan evolved from a modest settlement into the capital of the pagan kingdom. Between the 11th and 13th centuries, over 10,000 religious edifices were constructed across the Bagan Plains, reflecting an era of spiritual fervor and imperial ambition. The city's architectural landscape includes stupas, Gu-style temples, and monasteries, many adorned with intricate frescoes and stone carvings. King Ananda, regarded as the unifier of Myanmar, institutionalized Theravada Buddhism and initiated Bagan's temple-building renaissance. Bagan's strategic location along the Irrawaddy River facilitated trade, cultural exchange, and the dissemination of Buddhist doctrine. The vaulting technique, developed in Bagan's Gu temples, marked a significant innovation in Southeast Asian religious architecture. Despite Mongol invasions in the late 13th century, Bagan's sacred structures endured, though the city's political prominence waned. The surviving 2,200 monuments today form one of the world's richest archaeological zones, spanning over 100 square kilometers. Bagan's temples were not merely devotional spaces, but also centers for scholarly pursuits in grammar, astrology, medicine, and law. The site's cultural fabric is woven with influences from India, Sri Lanka, and the Khmer Empire, evident in its iconography and inscriptions. Many temples were commissioned by private donors, reflecting a widespread belief in merit-making as a path to spiritual elevation. The Ananda Temple, built in 1105, exemplifies symmetrical perfection and houses 4 standing Buddhas facing cardinal directions. In 2019, Bagan was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognizing its outstanding universal value and enduring legacy. Hot air balloons drifting above the temple-studded landscape at sunrise have become an iconic image of Myanmar's cultural heritage. In the sacred historical place of Bagan, there are some temples. When you come here, you will surely be impressed by the majestic beauty and historical story here. Let's explore with us. Towering above the Bagan Plains, Shwesandaw Pagoda commands attention with its soaring 328-foot silhouette and symmetrical elegance. Commissioned in 1057 by King Anuradha, the monument was constructed to enshrine sacred strands of Gautama Buddha's hair retrieved from Thein. Its name, meaning golden holy hair, reflects the relics it safeguards and the spiritual reverence it inspires across generations. The structure rises from 5 receding terraces, crowned by a cylindrical stupa and a gilded HTI, symbolizing celestial protection. Before Buddhism's dominance, the site was associated with Hindu deities, earning it the ancient name Mahapene in honor of Ganesha. Shwesandaw was one of 5 pagodas strategically placed outside Bagan city walls to form a protective spiritual perimeter. The terraces once displayed hundreds of terracotta plaques depicting Jataka tales, though most have vanished with time. Earthquakes, including a major one in 1975, damaged the original HTI, which now rests on the southern grounds as a historical artifact. Built in 1105 under King Kayansita, Ananda Temple in Bagan exemplifies sacred symmetry with a cruciform design and a tiered tower crowned by a gleaming HTI. Revered for its 4 standing Buddhas facing the cardinal points, the temple blends Hmong refinement with Indian architectural influence in breathtaking harmony. Often hailed as the Westminster Abbey of Burma, this stone sanctuary evokes the design lineage of Pathathamya and functions as a museum of carved masterpieces. Severely damaged by the 1975 earthquake, it was meticulously restored and gilded in 1990 to mark its 900th anniversary, preserving its spiritual and cultural legacy. Shwezigon Pagoda in Nyaungshwe dazzles with a circular gold leaf stupa encircled by sacred shrines, originally built by King Anurata and completed by Kian Sita in 1102. Believed to contain relics of the Buddha's bone and tooth, it embodies deep devotion and is thought by some to echo the famed relic from the King of Sri Lanka. The structure rises in 5 square terraces adorned with glazed terracotta depictions of Jataka tales, beneath which lie footprints and bronze statues of the present-day Buddha. The compound reveals a carved wooden thagyamin and a mon-inscribed stone pillar. Htilominlo Temple, a towering red brick sanctuary in northern Bagan, was commissioned in 1211 by King Nyaungshwe, chosen by a divine omen involving a royal umbrella. The temple's name, meaning favored by the umbrella, commemorates the moment the sacred regalia tilted toward the prince, sealing his destiny as heir. Rising 3 stories and reaching 46 meters, the structure showcases exquisite stucco reliefs, glazed sandstone tiles, and vaulted corridors that reflect Bagan's architectural zenith. Despite enduring the 1975 earthquake, Htilominlo remains a beacon of devotion and craftsmanship, preserving the spiritual and scholarly essence of Myanmar's golden era. Dhammayangyi Temple, the largest in Bagan, was built by King Narathu in the 12th century as an act of penance after seizing the throne through familial assassination. Its massive structure mirrors the layout of Ananda Temple, yet remains unfinished due to the king's untimely death by foreign assassins. The temple's interior is mysteriously sealed, leaving only the 4 porches and outer corridors accessible to visitors. Renowned for its flawless brickwork, legend claims masons were executed if a needle could pass between the bricks. Despite its dark origins, the temple endures as a monumental symbol of ambition, remorse, and architectural mastery in Myanmar's sacred landscape. Shwedagon Pagoda, perched atop Singutara Hill in Yangon, gleams at 112 meters tall and reigns as Myanmar's most sacred Buddhist monument. Revered for enshrining relics from 4 Buddhas, including 8 strands of Gautama's hair, it embodies millennia of spiritual devotion. Legend traces its origins to over 2,500 years ago, when 2 merchants received sacred relics directly from the Buddha himself. These relics were entrusted to King Okalapa, who enshrined them in a stupa that would become the heart of Burmese Buddhism. The pagoda's earliest recorded renovation dates to 1362 under King Binyayu, who elevated its height and religious stature. Queen Shin, the only female monarch of Hanthawaddy, gilded the structure and raised it to 40 meters in the 15th century. A devastating earthquake in 1768 toppled its pinnacle, but King Shinbushin restored it in 1775 to its current majestic height. The HTI, or crown umbrella, was replaced in 1871 by King Mindon, further enhancing the pagoda's celestial symbolism. Yangon's zoning laws preserve its dominance by limiting building heights, ensuring the Golden Spire remains the city's beacon. Each year, the Shwedagon Pagoda Festival draws pilgrims during the month of Tabaong, celebrating its enduring spiritual legacy. Nestled in the Shan Hills of Myanmar, Inle Lake spans 116 square kilometers and sits at an elevation of 880 meters above sea level. As the country's second largest freshwater lake, it transforms dramatically between seasons, deepening by up to 1.5 meters during the monsoon. The lake's watershed stretches predominantly to the north and west, while its waters drain southward through the Nam Pilu. Floating vegetation carpets vast portions of the surface, creating a surreal aquatic landscape. With a pH between 7.8 and 8, the lake's slightly alkaline waters nurture a rich and unique ecosystem. Among its 35 native fish species, 17 are endemic, including the emerald dwarf rasbora and the Inle snakehead. Traditional leg-rowing fishermen glide across the surface with unmatched grace, their silhouette iconic against the lake's morning mist. Villages on stilts fringe the water's edge, where homes, gardens, and temples float seamlessly within a self-sustaining aquatic world. In 2015, Inle Lake earned global recognition as Myanmar's first UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. Despite its acclaim, the lake faces mounting threats from pollution, invasive species, and ecological degradation. And with all of this in mind, there's only one place that fits the place we want to mention. Yes, the correct answer is none other than Inle Lake. Nestled at the northern gateway to Inle Lake, Nyaungshwe serves as the cultural and logistical heart of Myanmar's Shan Highlands. The town's name is a Burmese rendering of its original Shan name, Yongwe, meaning plateau between mountains. According to local chronicles, Nyaungshwe was founded in 1359 by two brothers, Nha Tong and Nga Naung, who migrated from Tavoy at the invitation of the Salfa of Shwezigon. It later became the capital of the Yongwe Principality, one of the most prominent Shan states during both pre-colonial and colonial periods. The town flourished under the rule of Shan State, hereditary princes who governed from the grand teakwood palace known as the Hall. The most notable of these rulers was Sao Shwe Taike, the last Saofa of Nyaungshwe, and the first president of independent Burma in 1948. The town's strategic location made it a cultural and political hub, linking the Shan Highlands with the Inle Lake basin. Nyaungshwe's geography is defined by its proximity to the Inle watershed, with 58 streams feeding into the lake from surrounding hills. The area's temperate climate and fertile soil supported rice paddies, vineyards, and floating gardens long before tourism arrived. During the British colonial era, Nyaungshwe retained semi-autonomous status under its Safa, maintaining local governance and traditions. The town played a quiet but symbolic role in the 1947 Panglong Agreement, which laid the foundation for ethnic unity in post-independence Myanmar. Rising like a crown from a volcanic plug, Popa Taungkalat Monastery commands the central plains of Myanmar, with spiritual grandeur and geological drama. Perched 737 feet above the ground, the monastery is accessed by a covered stairway of 777 steps, winding through shrines and mischievous macaques. The site is revered as the dwelling place of Myanmar's 37 Nats, with their statues enshrined at the base of the rock formation. Its name, meaning pedestal hill, reflects both its physical prominence and its role as a spiritual axis in Burmese cosmology. Built during the Bagan era, the monastery blends Buddhist devotion with ancient animist traditions that predate Theravada orthodoxy. The panoramic view from the summit reveals a sweeping canvas of arid plains, distant hills, and the looming silhouette of Mount Popa. stand in the hills near Inle Lake, Shwe in Tain Pagoda reveals a hauntingly beautiful place of over 1,000 ancient stupas. The complex crowns a hill above Inle village, reached by a covered walkway that winds through banyan groves and crumbling ruins. Most of the stupas date from the 17th and 18th centuries, though local lore attributes the original shrine to the Indian emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE. Later dynasties, including Kings Anavarata and Narapadasithu of Bagan, are believed to have expanded the site with additional sacred structures. The stupas vary in size and style, some leaning precariously with age, others restored in shimmering gold, creating a surreal contrast of decay and renewal. Intricate stucco carvings of celestial beings, mythical lions, and floral motifs adorn many of the structures, reflecting centuries of artistic devotion. Tain Pagoda unveils a mesmerizing labyrinth of over 1,000 ancient stupas cloaked in jungle mist. The complex crowns a hillside reached by a covered walkway, where time-worn columns and banyan roots guide pilgrims toward sacred ground. While many structures date from the 17th and 18th centuries, local tradition attributes the site's origins to Emperor Ashoka's Buddhist missions in the 3rd century BCE. Later expansions under Kings Anavarata and Narapadasithu of Bagan infuse the site with layers of religious and architectural legacy. The stupas vary in form and finish, some crumbling into the earth, others restored in gold leaf and white stucco, creating a surreal contrast of decay and reverence. Intricate carvings of celestial beings, mythical lions, and floral arabesques adorn the structures, revealing centuries of artistic devotion. The pagoda itself is the core of the myriad of stupas which surround it, yet is upstaged by the elegance of these stately forms. Once the glittering capital of the Mon Kingdom, Bago flourished as a cultural and religious epicenter from the 14th to 16th centuries. Founded as early as 573 CE, according to Mon chronicles, the city rose to prominence under King Binyayu, who declared it his royal seat in 1369. Bago began as a modest Mon settlement before evolving into a fortified city of strategic and spiritual importance by the 13th century. Under the reign of Queen Shwesandaw and her successor Dhammayangyi, Bago became a beacon of Theravada Buddhism and international trade. The city reached its zenith during the Tungu dynasty, when King Bainang rebuilt it as his imperial capital and constructed the Grand Kanbauzathadi Palace. Bago's strategic location near the Bago River enabled maritime connections with India, the Middle East, and Europe during the 16th century. A devastating earthquake in 1930 reshaped the city's skyline, yet many ancient monuments, including the Shwezigon reclining Buddha, endured. Spanning 1.2 kilometers across Inle Lake, Bein Bridge is the world's longest and oldest teakwood footbridge, completed in 1851. Constructed using reclaimed timber from the former royal palace in Inwa, the bridge embodies a legacy of architectural reuse and royal transition. Bein Bridge was constructed using traditional Burmese engineering techniques, measuring distances by counting footsteps rather than using modern tools. Named after Mayor U. Bain of Amarapura, the structure was commissioned during the relocation of the capital to Mandalay under King Mindon. Its 1,086 teak pillars were driven deep into the lake bed, with conical tops designed to shed rainwater and resist erosion. The bridge's subtle curvature was engineered to withstand wind and water pressure, showcasing traditional Burmese construction ingenuity. Nine movable sections allow boats to pass beneath, while 4 wooden pavilions provide shaded rest points along the span. For over 170 years, it has served as a vital pedestrian link and cultural artery for monks, villagers, and travelers alike. Mandalay Palace was commissioned by King Mindon in 1857 as the final royal seat of the Burmese monarchy. Constructed using teak wood from the dismantled palace at Amarapura, the complex followed strict cosmological principles and featured 12 zodiac-themed gates, a 64-meter wide moat, and 48 bastions. After the British annexation in 1885, the palace was seized, renamed Fort Dufferin, and later devastated by Allied bombing during World War II, leaving only the mint and watchtower intact. Painstakingly reconstructed in the 1990s, using both traditional and modern materials, the palace today stands as a replica of regal ambition and architectural mastery from the Konbaung dynasty. Each part of Myanmar reflects a different side of the country's identity. Its history has shaped the present, but it no longer defines what comes next. Change is happening steadily in major cities and in quiet towns. Cultural traditions are not only preserved, but reimagined by a new generation. Myanmar is building its future with attention to both memory and momentum. If this journey brought something meaningful, like the video, subscribe to the channel and join us for the next destination.